Any opening statements from either party? Mr. Ojak.
No opening statement.
Ms. Dehart, is there anything you'd like to say for an opening statement?
Here's that paper.
I am asking that you, this is an appeal on a case. I just want to make sure you have a photo with you.
Ma'am, that's not the appropriate way to enter evidence.
Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. We've got another courtroom Karen, and this time she brought her Kevin along. Let's get started.
I'm sorry.
So
okay.
You did enter it.
Okay. You should have a copy of it is what I'm saying. I'm sorry. So what I'm trying
I don't have any, ma'am, I don't have anything.
Oh,
Okay.
at the time of the appeal.
Okay. At the time that I made the appeal, I made this photo, and I have others available, and they received it at the court, and they said that it would be with the paperwork. So I can either show it to you now, but what I'm trying to let you know is that I'm asking for an appeal on the magistrate's
appeal,
ruling.
The appeal. This
I'm
is
appealing. Right. So I would like you to, I don't know the right word.
What are you even arguing here? Are you seriously surprised that a low-quality roadside photo, uploaded to a computer, printed on a home printer, and then displayed through a low-resolution courtroom camera isn't considered reliable evidence? Admissibility requires clarity, authenticity, and proper presentation, and that kind of change simply doesn't meet the standard.
questions for the officer.
Yes. My question for the officer is that
You have.
I'm trying to do this correctly, so if I do anything that's wrong, I appreciate when you correct me. So my question for the officer is that I changed my lanes with my, well, that's not for the officer, but I always use my turn indicators when I change my lanes. I guess I'm a little confused about the fact that is not at all, that was.
Ms. Dehart, can you ask questions? It's your opportunity to testify. It's your opportunity to ask the officer questions about what he had just testified to.
Okay, that this testimony that he is saying now is not what was testified in the previous magistrate court. He's changed his testimony from then.
It's not your turn to testify. It's your turn to ask him questions, not me.
Yeah, I'm asking. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm asking him why he's changed his testimony. All of this information is not part of what was at the magistrate. So why did he change this? I do want to know, did he go back and check the lane usage, which is what I was told, that it was improper lane usage because the court magistrate said that the lane was properly.
What you should be saying is, Judge, I need time to get an attorney.
So why did he change his testimony and say that it's not for improper lane use when that's what we did in the previous magistrate? Why is this testimony different than what we talked about in the previous? I was told specifically by the magistrate.
Ma'am, one question at a time. Let him answer.
Okay.
Okay, my testimony in this case is a little more detailed than it would have been in the informal hearing, and the reason for that is, and I actually took measurements on Google Earth and the washna.org mapping system. That's how I had the exact measurements of the signage, where the road markings were, etc. As far as what you were stopped for, you were stopped for, it could be improper lane use, it could be the fail to yield for merging over. There were a number of violations that would have been appropriate, and I ended up issuing the impeding because that's a 0-point violation.
Let me stop you right there, because the question should have ended after asking why the testimony changed between the informal and formal hearings. That part was actually valid. The problem is she never gave the officer a chance to answer and kept talking instead. Now let's see if she can restate the question properly and stay quiet long enough to actually hear a response.
I asked you, why did you change your testimony? Because the, what is it called, an informal hearing. So you didn't really answer my question. My question is, why did it change from the lane usage, which the magistrate previously made it very, very clear that this was specifically regarding using the right lane to go through, and that the right lane, she repeatedly said that the right lane is a right turn only lane, clearly marked, which it is not, and I have proven that.
Karen, you're testifying again. Ask a question, not a speech, something open-ended with an actual question mark at the end. Since we're talking about questions, here's an easy one. Father's Day is coming up, so what are you getting your dad? Let me make it simple, an extra wallet. I've been using mine for months, and I won't go back to a regular wallet thanks to the sleek design, solid build, RFID protection, and global tracking from my phone, but the real game changer is the reverse find feature that lets the wallet locate your phone with the push of a button. I use that feature more than anything else. This year I'm picking up an Onyx Parliament wallet for my dad, a navy aluminum wallet for my brother, and a trackable laptop bag for my son, and I wouldn't be working with Extra again if I didn't genuinely recommend it. Use the link in the description or pinned comment for 20% off. Now, Karen, you've had plenty of time. Have you figured out how to ask a question yet?
Is the officer aware that at the intersection of Michigan and Riverview, the lane signage that's posted clearly indicates that there is a left turn lane, there is a straight through lane, and then there is a straight through and right turn lane. Is the officer aware of that?
There are, as you're coming eastbound, I'm assuming you're talking about the eastbound lanes. As you're coming eastbound, there is a left turn lane that goes north onto Austin Road, and then there are two other lanes, the inside lane and the curb lane, and both of those are allowed to go straight through at that point.
Right. And that's what I did, and that's what you testified to, and I clearly, why are you changing your testimony? Are you just trying to keep my money? That just doesn't make sense to me.
You were so close. You asked the question, got an answer, and then immediately fell apart again.
That's not appropriate.
Sustained.
I agree with you. It's not appropriate, but I'm very sorry, Your Honor. This is clearly not appropriate either. It's a very, okay. And then I would like to say, I do have a witness.
Ms. Dehart, if you have any further questions for for Officer Belknap,
No.
we have any further questions for him?
All right. Is Officer Belknap aware that I had someone else in the car?
Yes, you had your husband, and he made it very clear that he worked for a police department, and I felt that he was actually trying to get you some courtesy for that. And in fact, that's perhaps why I issued the impeding traffic and not the traffic violation with the points on it.
Can I talk?
Karen, rein this in. Your partner should have recognized that pushing this further wasn't helping, because you were already being offered the most reasonable outcome available. Continuing to argue only made the situation worse, not better.
And he was making himself aware because of a courtesy to other police officers. And he made it very clear.
Ma'am, you cannot testify right now. And everything you're saying, I am not taking into evidence. You have
I'm very sorry, Your Honor.
Ma'am, it's my turn to speak.
Okay.
Opportunity to cross-examine the officer. If you have any questions for him, you may ask him questions, but your questions are not evidence. So you do not go off on all these other things that the magistrate was talking about, because I'm not taking note of any of that. Those are not evidence, those are just questions. What the officer is saying is the evidence that I'm going to take into account. So if you have any further questions that you would like to ask the officer, please do so.
Thank you. Then another question that I have is that the officer was not the only one in attendance, and could he please tell me, there was his supervisor, or whatever the ranking is, was also there. And
What is the question, ma'am? You're testifying again. Can you please ask
what-
the officer a question?
okay, so what was the other officer there for, other than him? Yeah. And
That was-
was he, oh, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry because I'm saying sorry too much and I'm not used to court proceedings. So I apologize for all of that. So is there something we can, I maybe would like to revisit this again because the courts did not receive, I have a copy that said they received it and none of it's with the file. And I just feel really.
Ma'am, if you
like
have
Shanghai,
evidence that you would
but-
like to use, then you can certainly try to admit that evidence through a witness. You can't just hand me documents.
Right, you mean like the court? As a witness, submit documents through a witness, which would be
Through
the
their
court.
testimony.
Okay, well, so I can have a witness?
Yes, Karen, you can bring on your Kevin now.
I'd like to call my husband, Kevin Dehart.
Okay, does he have another device or something he can?
I'm right,
He's right next to me, is that what you want?
I'm right here.
Okay.
And please tell me if my window.
Can you raise your right hand, sir? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Lower your hand, state and spell your name for the record, please.
Kevin Dehart, Dehart. The first name is Kevin.
Go ahead, Ms. Dehart.
Okay, first of all,
No, sir, you can't
what?
just start talking. Ms. Dehart can ask you questions.
Oh,
You're
I'm sorry.
the other witness. You can't just talk.
I'm sorry, I thought you said Mr. Dehart, not Mrs. Dehart. Were you in the car with me in November 10th, 2021?
Yes, I was.
As I was driving, in your professional opinion, with over 33
I'm going
years.
to object to the comment about professional
police.
opinion, Your Honor. And we'll stipulate to the fact that he was present in the car. The officer already testified to that.
Sustained.
Yeah. Okay, and did I do any illegal driving during that time?
No, you did not.
Because Kevin said it, it must be true. At least that seems to be the logic here. What's especially telling is how she leans on his claimed 33 years of professional experience without offering a single fact, credential, or concrete detail to back it up, treating assertion as proof and confidence as evidence.
And there would be none. So that would cover absolutely everything that was handled on that day, including the line markings that the, do you believe that the officer's statement about where all the line markings are on the road and where the dotted lines happen in the road and where the lane ends and the usage, does that include that all of that was done legally?
Yes, it was.
And do you believe that the officer has changed his story from the hearing that we were in?
I'm going to object again,
Oh,
Your
wait,
Honor.
that was
We're
when
talking
I
about
was talking
testimony
about.
and it-
I'm sorry. I just remembered
Sustained. Ms.
that.
Dehart, please
Yes.
move on from the informal hearing.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I forgot about that. So do you believe that the officer's testimony today is not accurate and not true to what he told us when we were pulled over?
Objection again, Your Honor. She's going back to the same thing that you just told her not to do.
You're going to get a lawyer.
Yeah, I think I need some representation.
This is.
I don't know how to handle it from now, Your Honor, because
I don't know how to break this to you, Karen, but the moment to ask for representation has already passed. This would have been the time for some basic judgment, recognizing early on that pushing forward without proper legal guidance wasn't a smart move and that this approach was never going to work in your favor.
documentation was delivered to the court.
Ms.
And they
Dehart,
accepted it on
about
behalf.
Ms. Dehart, do you have any questions about the November 20th?
November,
Mr. Dehart,
on November 10th?
I'm sorry,
Okay.
November 10th.
Yeah.
Do you have any further questions for Mr. DeHart about November?
I'm going to go ahead and go along with you, and I'm going to say that there is nothing else at this time that I'm just all shooken. I'm totally shooken up. Okay. Totally shooken up because okay, I'll stop there to try to be more appropriate to you. I'm sorry.
At first you almost feel bad for her, but then you remember she wasted everyone's time despite being offered the best possible deal. She chose to fight it, and now she's living with the consequences.
Have any closing statements, Ms. DeHart?
Your Honor, I'm very sorry that we have to take up your time on this because I think that you have not been told the truth in this case. So my closing statement would include that I wished the court proceedings worked and you had the paperwork in front of you that you need, and that the officer's story has changed in three different times. And I just don't know what else to say. I just would appreciate that you dismiss this and we can have our money returned, because as everyone knows, money is very tight these days. And living with an officer for 38 years, I appreciate and respect everything about the officers. I was the one that was insulted when he made comments about himself, because that is definitely not professional.
If there was any doubt before, this should settle it. When the officer issued the ticket, he even explained that if she chose to contest it, she could simply reference the trooper who issued it, a light-hearted way of reminding people he's human, not a machine. Instead of taking it as the courtesy it was meant to be, she somehow turned that moment into yet another complaint, choosing outrage over common sense and proving exactly why the label fits.
I would like to make a final comment, Your Honor. I'm not going to go into about everything that happened before. There's a lot of things you just said which I could really point out. I want to make two statements. What she provided to the court, if it had been provided to you, court staff would have been violating the rules, as they're not allowed to, she's not allowed to provide evidence ex parte to the court without providing it to the prosecutor too, and that would be done in trial. My second statement is regarding all the things she has said several times about Officer Belknap. I have decades and decades and decades of experience, and I actually know Officer Belknap very well, and I consider him one of the most professional and best officers I've ever had contact with. That's all.
Thank you, Mr. Ojak.
Can I answer to that?
No, you can't. The way that it works, the prosecutor, because they're bringing the case forward, they get the last word because they have the burden of proof.
Well, because...
No, ma'am, the hearing's concluded.
Shut up, Karen!
Okay.
After listening to the testimony from Officer Belknap, as well as the testimony from Kevin DeHart and Lisa DeHart, I wanted to address a couple of things. There was a lot of conversation about a photo that Miss DeHart that she submitted to the court. It is correct. It wouldn't have been appropriate for her to not also include the prosecutor in that communication. Nonetheless, it became clear through her own testimony of what this picture would have reflected. And from the officer's testimony, it doesn't sound like this picture had any relevance to what this impeding traffic ticket is about. So had it even been submitted, I'm not sure if it would have been appropriate to bring forward in this case, because what the picture seemed, what I believe, or what it seems that Ms. DeHart was saying that the picture was portraying had nothing to do with why she was pulled over. So I'm not sure that picture had any relevance. So I believe it wasn't actually submitted. Ma'am, you cannot speak.
I'm sorry.
Ma'am, you cannot speak. As far as the testimony, we did have testimony from Officer Belknap about what happened that day, what he witnessed. He was on the lookout based on the dispatch had given him some information about to be on a lookout for a vehicle, that there were some complaints about a vehicle. So he was certainly paying attention to what was happening at that intersection. He witnessed Miss DeHart's vehicle sort of force merge herself beyond where the lane had actually narrowed, despite there being two other signs indicating that the right lane was ending. And Officer Belknap also indicated that he witnessed the vehicle behind Miss DeHart's vehicle that she cut in front of had to slow down. After Officer Belknap's testimony, there was no testimony offered from the other witnesses that testified about what exactly happened at that intersection and that merge. There was no explanation or alternative facts given to what may have happened at that intersection that perhaps Officer Belknap may have confused or may have missaw. There was just no testimony given about what happened at the intersection at all. I did find Officer Belknap's testimony believable, and I do find the prosecutor has met their burden to show that there was enough evidence by preponderance of evidence that Ms. DeHart had committed the civil infraction of impeding traffic, and I will find her responsible for that. Fines and costs were assessed previously, and they were set as a bond in this matter. So the court will apply the bond to the fines and costs.
Thank you, Yenna.
And we are adjourned.
Looks like Karen and Kevin won't be heading off on any celebration anytime soon, and before we wrap up, I want to give a quick shout out to Old Squishy Gardner, whose channel consistently shares content like this on a near daily basis. That brings us to the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like. If not, feel free to hit dislike, but make sure to drop a comment with your thoughts. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next.